Same man. One of my biggest pet peeves is a black person who does not understand systemic racism and systemic oppression. Those black people who feel like systemic racism is something of the past, they feel like racism is no more. We're in a new world, so stop being a victim. Stop having a victim mentality. First of all, just because you acknowledge systemic racism and racism itself, just because you acknowledge it, does not mean that you have a victim mentality. It just means you're not a sheep and you see it for what it is. But the goal of racism in today's world is to make us feel like it doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? They cannot be out in the open with it like how they was in Jim Crow, civil rights. They have to be covert because they know nowadays people are more inclined to rebel in a different way that we didn't rebel in the past. So that's why you'll see the racism is more under the lines. They'll talk about like redlining, things like that. But let's talk about product placement. How black people are angled in certain lights and commercials and movies so they don't appear racist. Because you can't have a movie with the all-white cast anymore, you know what I'm saying? You got some, but you got to throw in some chocolate seeds in there, you know what I'm saying? Just like having a Pepsi can in a movie or a commercial or a TV show because Pepsi is being sponsored by that show. So they'll put the Pepsi in there. That's called product placement. Black people are also put there as well. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see a lot of commercials, movies, TV shows, anything in media with black women and a white man in relationship. You always see it. Whether she light-skinned, you're going to see a lot of it. It used to be the brothers with the white women, but now they flip the script, you know what I mean, with the black women and the white men. But since racism is so systemic that their duty is for us to feel like it doesn't exist. So black people can look at that and be like, it doesn't exist. That's all. It's black people. We're our biggest enemies, blah, blah, blah. But if you was alive a couple of decades ago to understand, you understand the roots of how systemic racism started and how we still suffer with that to this day. The plan of systemic racism was for us to suffer to this day. You know what I'm saying? But within my generation, people act like they don't understand what's right in front of them because they've also been blind. You know what I'm saying? Yes, they understand that racism exists, but they feel like we're all the same. We are the first generation of black people to feel like white people are our equivalent. We are the first in the history of the world. Isn't that crazy? You always had coons in the diaspora, you know, before, but it's different now. These coons still can be pro-black, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't understand who they really are. We've been robbed of our knowledge of self. Therefore, you have a lot of people that try to play both sides. They'll make a video or a point, and they'll make a point about black issues, and then they have to add, not that I don't like white people, because they're so afraid of hurting someone's feelings and being canceled. We're the first generation to be so soft when speaking about points that matter. One of my biggest pet peeves is a black person who does not understand the depths of systemic racism. You know, we all had to learn at one point, but for you to feel like black people are our biggest enemy, at the end of the day, you feel like black people are our biggest enemy. You don't understand that the black people that you are up against were robbed of the knowledge of self. That doesn't give them an excuse, but understand the perpetrator, the people pulling the strings, are white folks. Dang, man, my hair getting light. Dang.